That's amazing. It's amazing that it's showtime because
And
guess
that's
what?
the mix.
There you go. Because it's 8 o'clock on a Monday, and if it's 8 o'clock on a Monday, it's Mighty Monkeys Nerd World News, and I'm your host Zach Efron. If it's 8 o'clock on a Monday, wow, I'm getting like feedback over here. Hang on a second. I got to turn off Twitch.
Are you watching yourself, Chris?
I had Twitch up just because I wanted to make sure I could find the channel. And then I started talking to myself.
So Twitch works, huh? Twitch worked.
It's great. So yes, my friends and family out there, we are now on not just on Facebook Live, we are also on Twitch and on YouTube via our StreamYards connection. You can see that right up there in the old corner, Nerd World News logo and everything. I am your host. My name is Chris. We are in the Nerd World News headquarters. With me, as always, the lovely and vivacious Tanya and Ann from the Comic Chicks, live on remote from the east side of Rochester. In the down right corner and in pole position, James Irish, waiting to do his thing about his weekly blog. And underneath me in the Brady Bunch grid over here is nothing than our Lord. Hey, how you doing, Dad? Good to see you. And it's our Lord President and producer, Mr. Daniel Carmen. It's good to see you guys all on board tonight. We're going to jump into a top story so we can get right to work. Jodie Whittaker, the 13th Doctor, she is going to be coming back up onto all of our small screens this coming holiday season. But it was recently revealed that she has no plans to end her Doctor Who tenure anytime soon, claiming she hasn't even looked at another role since she started playing the iconic Time Lord. Speaking to The Telegraph, Whittaker said that she was looking forward to playing the Time Lord for the foreseeable future, while also opening up in her experiences in the role so far. To even question, she is quoted as saying, to even question an end point would be too upsetting, she stated recently, before explaining how her expectations of the part has already been surpassed. She goes on to say, I had this idea that fame from Doctor Who would be like that Notting Hill image of Rhys Ifans when he opens up the door in front of the paparazzi. And it isn't, she said, she explained. If you bump into a Whovian, it genuinely makes both of your days because they're happy to see you and you're happy to see them and you have this shared moment. So while it has been fairly regular that most of the doctors have gone 3 and out, we are possibly going to be seeing the 13th Doctor for quite some time to come. And as I mentioned, the holiday is coming up and the holiday special with it. And James will be talking about that shortly. But before we talk to James, we're going to be going to the Comic Chicks. Ladies, what do you got for me tonight?
Well, we're going to start with Batman number 104, Ghost Stories, Part 3. Ghostmaker is living up to the spectral name as Batman scours Gotham City for a trace of him. But this deadly new vigilante. Wow, I'm really doing good tonight. Is going to prove bloody points to the Dark Knight by murdering both Clown Hunter and Harley Quinn. That is, unless they kill each other first.
Dun dun dun. Grim Fairy Tales presents Quarterly Dark Watchers number 1. Legend has it that long ago, a coven of witches and warlocks sought to perform a ritual that would grant them immeasurable power and eternal life for a cost. But this cost was not fully understood, and those who performed it were forever held between the veil of our world and eternity, cursed to watch the living and trapped with an insatiable hunger. They became known as the Dark Watchers. Along the Santa Lucia mountain range, there have been tales of beings who watch travelers from the horizon, and some said to look upon them vanish, never to be seen again. These stories have been happening more frequently, and as Gretel and Calabar are making their way through this stretch of land, they are about to be pulled into something not even nearly 300-year-old witch hunter has come across in her life. Ooh.
Okay, and Miles Morales, Spider-Man number 21. The climactic conclusion of the Ultimate Saga. Ultimate's master plan is in motion and is way bigger than you expect. Nearly everyone in Miles' orbit and beyond is affected and needs to get on the battle. And if the issue is the battle, next is war.
Dun dun dun.
War. There are also lots of other good comic books coming out this week, including one which may have to do with the pandemic that we're currently living in.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And no comic chicks this week, right?
No comic chicks
No
this week.
Can I still come over for stew?
No. No stew.
No stew? Darn it.
I'll make some Freyton.
No chickens!
No chickens.
I don't want. However, chickens flying at Anne's house was kind of funny the other day.
We'll talk about that later.
Listen to our podcast that will drop later this week, and we talk about chickens at Anne's house. But yes, we'll be back next week for Comic Chicks and opening more boxes. And don't forget, we're reading The Night Circus for our book club, which will be, we said, what, January 13th? Something like that. Whatever the second Wednesday is in January. So
there you go.
But with that, we are going to put our hoods up and climb out of the nice warm car and into the dreary, rainy, wet. No.
Let's go time warp.
Let's do
evening.
the time warp again.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
See you, ladies. Have fun in class tonight.
Oh, we will.
All right. And onward and forward. James, my friend, what do you got for us on Patreon this week?
Well, this week on the blog has to begin in not the present tense or the future tense, but the past tense, which is appropriate for a column about Doctor Who. Yes, Elizabeth Rice made her long-awaited, by me, return to the blog with an in-depth look at the trailer for the upcoming special Revolution of the Daleks. This sucker is up, pardon me, right this moment. So go ahead and give it a look once Nerd World News is all said and done. Also, guess who finally learned how to add pictures to Patreon text posts?
I'm assuming that would be Dan.
Hey, wait.
Well, hey,
I'm going to be updating all the old Joystick Journey articles with reference pictures over the course of this week, and going forward, all posts will have some sort of illustrative glory to them.
Awesome.
Tomorrow on the blog, though, I have a
Way to
double
increase the skill set.
Yep. I have to spend some time discussing the recent abuse slung at a streamer on Twitch for receiving a free Xbox Series X from Microsoft because, well, sticking up for this woman is the right thing to do, especially since she has not done a single thing wrong. But following that, I have a product review for one of the smallest incarnations of one of my favorite games, Dig Dug. Take a gander at this sucker.
Is that what
it on?
You were showing me before the broadcast?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Phenomenal.
It's about the size of a credit card.
Where did you get that?
Off Amazon, believe it or not.
Great.
But I will have all the details on whether or not this is worth your time tomorrow.
Okay.
Chris, unless you got questions for me, that's all I got. Back to you.
Thanks, brother. And you can find that on our Patreon, www.patreon.com/FC3ROC, where every week James has been great about putting a blog up, and now Elizabeth Rice is back in play, and she has her review of the trailer for Revolution of the Daleks, which we saw that recently, and that was very cool. That came out over the weekend. And on our Patreon, there's lots of different levels. Please feel free to sponsor us. This is the people who have been sponsoring our Patreon. This is where we have gone with what the support you've given us. We're able to start getting more into StreamYards, be able to do more with the technology. And even though we have not been able to bring you an FC3, we've been able to bring you at least some sort of context, some sort of material, and we try to do this on a fairly regular basis so that we can keep in touch with you, our friends and FC3 family out there. So like I said, www.patreon.com/FC3ROC. And all of the information is right there. And if you don't see a level that meets your interest, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll customize one up for you. But we're there. And also on Amazon, if you do a quick search for Nerd World News and for FC3 Monkey Business, you'll see that we have merch. We got t-shirts and a variety of other product, I believe, with our logo on it at this time. And that's all available. Please feel free to support us so that we can keep doing more and bringing more to you. And I'm going to go running over here to the comment section. And we're going to take a look. We got to see a good evening from the legendary Deanna Schulmerich and our Elizabeth Rice. Batman John is on board. And Elizabeth did talk about spoilers, but also official spoilers, because this has been coming out in the past 24 hours. That Tossin Cole and, excuse me, Tossin and Bradley have officially been confirmed as leaving Doctor Who after the holiday special this year, which I think they've been talking about on and off throughout 2020, that at least Tossin was going to be stepping away from the show. And so that's now an official thing. Elizabeth is also glad that 13's sticking around for a little longer, though, especially given the next series is shorter because of the needed COVID precautions. Absolutely. Peter, we're doing great. Thank you, brother. Good to see you as always. And Elizabeth goes on to confirm that she did do a breakdown for the Patreon blog. And let's see, we're going to skip ahead a little bit here. Justin Toner's here. Good news, James Irish. I think he's complimenting on you on expanding your skill set. And Elizabeth goes on to say, I'll do my best to do more entries. Just difficult to know what people are interested in with Doctor Who besides the show. I could write an essay on why the 10 and River set of stories from Big Finish that came out this week are perfect in every way, but that might be a thing that's interesting to only me, and you would be wrong, because I tell you what, I follow you on TikTok, Elizabeth, and I have been loving the little the skits that you've been doing as River, talking to either 4, or I think there was one where you're talking to 10 as well. And just being generally River and her space hair awesomeness. So I've just been enjoying that. Absolutely keep that up. That is wild and entertaining as all get out. All right, we're going to be moving on with the news at this time. Hello, Twitch. Hello, YouTube. And hello, Facebook friends. I hope you guys are having as much fun right now as I am. This has been an absolute kick. So with that being said, we're going to move on with the news. And we've got some Marvel Cinematic Universe news. Over the weekend, I don't know if you saw it or not, but Marvel has finally gotten all of the rights back for Daredevil, and immediately fans are beginning to make a push to get a revival of that in TV or in movie form, and bringing Charlie Cox back into the fold as Matt Murdock, also known as Daredevil. The Fans Without Fear are out in force on Twitter today. The Netflix movie and TV rights to the adventure of blind superhero Daredevil are expiring. Therefore, The Man Without Fear may finally be used in a number of ways by Marvel Studios, where the property can be further exploited for film and TV. The Daredevil show, starring the aforementioned Charlie Cox, canceled on November 29th of 2018 under terms of the Marvel Netflix deal. Marvel Studios wasn't able to use the character in any of their movies or TV shows until a 2-year hold following that cancellation expired. Fans are making a last push to make sure that Netflix doesn't conjure a 4th season of Daredevil out of the blue, and are also pushing series star Charlie Cox for any future MCU Daredevil projects. The campaign is being run under the hashtag of Save Daredevil. They're asking fans to list the reasons why Daredevil should revert to Marvel Studios, and to see the full Twitter thread with instructions. You can find that on deadline.com, or you can look for it on Twitter under the aforementioned hashtag. And I'm looking forward to that. That would be kind of cool. And my darling sister Sybil has arrived. Hello, Sybil. And yes, I am a little scruffier than usual. I was actually jokingly contemplating the idea that if we get a certain amount of Patreon support, then I'll have somebody shave the beard off during a Nerd World News broadcast somewhere in the future. But right now, I'm actually kind of digging it. I think it looks cool, very distinguished. I think it looks very distinguished, Moneypenny. Anyway, Dan tried like earlier this year when I first grew mine out at the beginning of the year. I know he tried and just couldn't get past the wow, this itches phase.
Oh my gosh!
It takes some doing. It does. Some doing. I'm there again already, but I found a really cool brush that helps make my chin feel better. So, all right. And Elizabeth Rice goes on. Yeah, I've done those using clips from Big Finish releases, or talking about her TikToks. Would people be interested in breakdowns of each volume of River stories so far? That could be fun and give me a good reason to re-listen to all of them. I, for one, would be totally on board. I know Dan and James will probably agree with me on that one as well. Where am I in my list of things to do? Yes! Over the weekend, we also said farewell. We saw hello to Daredevil, but we're also saying farewell to David Prowse, who passed away at the age of 85. If this name is not familiar to you, he was the original Darth Vader. Read all the lines. He was the man in the suit for all 3 of the original movies, for New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Did not realize that his voice was going to be dubbed or overdubbed by James Earl Jones, but he hung in there and did the work. And the 6'6" former bodybuilder filled the suit and added that whole menace and presence to the character, making Darth Vader one of the most legendary cinematic villains of all time. May the force be with him always, said his agent Thomas Bowington. He was famous on the convention circuit for being an absolutely kind and generous man, loved to spend time with the fans, loved to share with them, sign autographs, take pictures, just be a part of the global consciousness that was Star Wars. And let's see what else we got. Mark Hamill himself said he was a kind man and much more than Darth Vader. He loved his fans as much as they loved him. Star Wars co-star and fellow Briton Anthony Daniels, who played C-3PO in 11 of the 12 Star Wars installments, paid tribute to Prowse's contribution to the epic series by saying, Dave's iconic figure dominated the finished film in 1977 and has done so ever since. It looks like he actually had some failing health issues, but passed away from complications due to COVID-19. So he will be sadly missed on the convention circuit and going forward. Our condolences to Dave's family and friends around him at this time. That was a big news. And now we'll move on to a little bit light, something a little lighter. We'll finish off with our usual birthdays, and that will be starting today. The 30th of November, we say happy birthday to Ben Stiller, Billy Idol, Mandy Patinkin, and Bo Knows birthdays, Bo Jackson, all celebrating days around today. Tomorrow, we will be saying happy birthday to Zoe Kravitz and Woody Allen. On Wednesday the 2nd, Lucy Liu from Charlie's Angels and Elementary fame. And then on the 3rd, Thursday, we say happy birthday to Amanda Seyfried, Holly Marie Combs from Charmed, Brendan Fraser, who's making a comeback through Doom Patrol, and the Dark Lord of Metal himself, Ozzy Osbourne, celebrates another circuit around the sun. And it didn't burn him again. It's amazing. On Friday the 4th, Marissa Tomei, Jeff Bridges, and our beloved Tiana Schulmerich will be celebrating a big old birthday on the 4th of December. We love you, Dee. Happy early birthday, sweetie. This coming Saturday would have been the birthday for the legend himself, Walt Disney, and will be the birthday of Frankie Muniz. And on Sunday the 6th, Ryan Haywood from Rooster Teeth and Satoru Iwata, the 4th president of Nintendo, will be having a birthday, much more than probably his 4th.
Rest in peace, Satoru Iwata.
What's that?
Rest in peace, Iwata-san.
Oh, Iwata-san's no longer with us? That's unfortunate. And too many people dying. So, but guess what? In a very short 31 days from now, 2020 itself will be dying and disappearing into the past. So, yay, let's all celebrate. Okay, so podcast coming up this Wednesday where we talk about a variety of different things, including starting to wrap up our thoughts about 2020 and start talking about what we're going to do in 2021. And there is a big shout out right there at the bottom of the screen. Batman John is going to be having himself a birthday on the 3rd. Batman John, you're going to have to tell me what it feels like to finally be 30 years old, man. Seriously. And we're looking forward to seeing you very, very soon. Once again, my dear, dear friend. Let's see. And we'll have new Doctor Who on January 1st. So what a great way to start 2021. So with that being said, podcast coming out on Wednesday. We talk about a variety of things, including an anecdote dealing with Juno and Anne's chickens. So you're gonna have to tune in so you can get that story. And Juno herself is trying. She's handing me her toy right now because she wants to play. So with that, my dear, dear friends, I will say you guys have a great week. Have a safe week, and we will talk to you again next week. Thank you for tuning in. We love you. Be safe, and we'll see you next time.